my heart is warm today. See, very rarely do I come across moments where my heart gets warm. Like the last time that I felt all warm and squishy like this is when I had a really good conversation with my sister, hi Vanessa, and we came to an understanding in terms of religion, and that was earlier this year, and my heart felt warm as a result. And even now, I'm so pleased that she's thinking for herself and not letting people tell her what she should think. That's very important to me. So I've said that to say this. Today, my heart is very warm. I now have to backtrack and tell you a story. Let's go back to 2006, 2007. I was engaged to be married to someone else, but that didn't really happen because you're the only one for me and I love you.
Or
No.
you have a whole other wife.
No. And we were in a bad way financially. Basically because I was the only one working and she was a lazy fucking cunt and didn't want to do anything and left it all to me, and she slept all the damn time and ate all the damn food, but that's a different story. So I reached out to a friend of mine for help, whom I never met her. We met online. We actually got cool writing fan fiction back and forth with each other, and it was just fun. It was a sweet innocent thing, and she saw that I was in trouble, and she sent me money to help. Now, to my understanding, I don't want to be jealous. I don't want to be accused of revisionist history. Why would I kind of say jealous? I don't want to be having revisionist history, but I seem to remember her saying, I don't remember it ever being a thing where make sure you get this back to me. It was just like, oh, I want to help you, my friend, and I loved her for it. I did. So it helped, but also understand that immediately after that, I was homeless. So I was in a bad way. And then I was addicted to Vicodin. And my dad died. You know, like I was not in the best place. And then even after that, once I got out of the shelter and I would stop sleeping in the high school gym, which was fun, and I found myself in an abusive relationship. Just like, not, so he didn't beat me. It was more mentally abusive. So it's suffice to say that I lost contact with my friend. So if you've been keeping up with me, then you know that I met this one in November of 2008, and honestly started my whole life over. I came out here, it was like a fresh start, clean slate, tabula rasa up in this bitch. Like things were just different. And I was given an opportunity to put together a pilot for ABC Family, and I can admit, pit sidebar, let's talk about that very briefly. I know where my problem was there. I know what went wrong. I shouldn't have attempted to do the entire season. That I was being overzealous. I wanted to do too much with not enough. And if I had just focused on the one episode, things may have been different. And if they liked it, then they would have picked it up and they would have done something with it. But my greedy ass wanted to do the whole season because it was so important to me to see my own shit come to life. That was a bad move on my part. Anyway, to do that, I needed equipment. So with the little bit of money that I had, I remember buying a camera. And I was like, hey, look. And I took a picture with me with the camera, and it's like, hey, look, I'm doing a fucking thing. And, I'm going to record this pilot. It's going to be awesome. And this friend saw that and was like, what do you mean you bought a camera? You owe me money. I was like, wow, it's not that I hadn't thought of it, but I had been through quite a bit. So no, every day wasn't on my mind going, oh my God, I wonder if she remembers the money that I owe her. It wasn't on my mind. Like I had other things in the house with this one. Plus I was sick. And these are not excuses. These are reasons. My mind was elsewhere. And she chose not to want to speak to me anymore. And I remember, if we're being honest, and that's what we do, I spent a long time being bitter and upset with her. Like, how could you? Like, we were friends. How would you let a little bit of money come in between us? We were something special. And for a couple of bucks, like, at the end of the day, it's like, look, it was $500. $500, not a lot of money, especially now when you consider our rent is going up to $1,200. So $500 not a lot of money, but back then it was probably worth more, but it wasn't worth my friendship. I don't think it wasn't worth not talking to her. So we kind of left it at that. And then a couple of years went by, and I tracked her down on Facebook again, and I was just like, "Hey, what's up?" And she was just like, "Nope, we can't be friends. We can't be cool. We can't do this." I was like, "Damn. All right, well, all right, whatever. If you gonna fall out with me for money, that means we wasn't really friends in the first place. Whatever, maybe." And I'm guilty of that. I'm the kind of guy, it can be really one-sided. I'll quick pig sidebar on that. I'll tell you this story. I like to call this story, Maybe It Was Just a Donut. Have I ever told you the story? So I was in Detroit, and I met this girl, and she was super sweet, and we got along really well, and we agreed to go to it was like a Dunkin' Donuts or something. It was like a little donut shop where you could go in there and sit down and eat. And we ordered some donuts. Yeah, it was like a date. And you're so cute when you get jealous. So we sat there in this little donut shop, and we drank our coffee, and we ate our donuts, and we talked. And I remember wow, we're clicking on all cylinders here. This is really nice. We're really getting along. And then it's the next day, we just didn't talk. And some days went by, and it was just I was calling and she wasn't answering, or this was before the days of text messaging, or at least where it wasn't as big a deal as it is now. And it just didn't pan out. And I was I remember writing in my journal. Yes, I write in my journal. I'm a writer. Sue me. I remember writing, this was a really big deal. I thought we had something really nice. I really wanted to see where this was going, but maybe it was just a donut. Maybe the talk didn't mean as much to her. Maybe it wasn't as big a deal to her as it was to me. I've said that to say this. Maybe, just maybe, this friendship that we had that, I had spanned since 2001. It was from 2001 to 2007. We were I don't want to say inseparable, but shit, we talked every day, all the time. She was just super cool, but maybe, just maybe, it was more to me than it was to her. So I chalked it up as a loss, whatever. So one of my favorite sections on Facebook now, I wait for it every night at midnight, is the on this day section, because I love to see what I was talking about in the past. It's fun to see where my head was, especially now. It's towards this time of the year is when things were getting really bad for me, medically. So it's nice to see where I was and the progression that I've made. And there are a lot of things that she would post on my wall back then, little hearts, "Hey, I was thinking about you. Hope you have a great day. Glad you're feeling better. Love you," that kind of thing. And it was oh, that's my friend. So I saw that today on Facebook. I was going through my On This Day section, and I saw a couple of things from her, and I got the feels. And I was man, I miss her. But she made it very clear she didn't want nothing to do with me. I get it. No problem. So I posted something on Facebook that was just yeah, I got this friend, kind of missed my friend. And I've been thinking about her, but we fell out over money. So maybe we weren't really friends in the first place. Again, maybe it was just a donut. And it was Kari who set me straight. And he was just "Look, man, that was a long time ago. You're different. She's different. You probably in different places now. If you feel that way, reach out and see what happens." It's okay. So I send her a message on Facebook. And it's very plain. "Hey, no, we haven't talked in a while. I miss your friendship. I'm not going to lie. I miss your companionship. We had some good talks. This is me extending an olive branch to you. If you want to talk, cool. If not, that's cool too, but it was really on my heart to say something." And she saw it right away. I was "Oh, sent." And you know how when you send and you wait for those 3 little dots to go by? 3 little dots didn't come. She wasn't typing nothing. I was "Oh, well, that's unfortunate." Whatever. So me and Kari ended up spending most of the day together. We had a really good talk today. We just We sat around, we watched wrestling, and we sat around for hours just talking and having a good time. And it was fun. And I love my wife. I do, baby. I love you to death. But it was really nice for just me and Kari to just sit around and just kick it. Like
I feel like there was no need for you to say that. Like, I appreciate it, but you don't have to justify enjoying time with your son alone.
I mean, I never want you to feel like you are very much, you are the reason this family is together. It really is.
No, that's not
but
true.
it was, yes, it's absolutely true.
No, it's not.
But
because if I wasn't here, you and Kari would still be happy together.
No, we do.
So you're saying if I wasn't here, then suddenly Kari would love you and you wouldn't love him? Yes or no?
No, of
yes
course
no?
not. I'm not saying if you weren't here, I would.
So that's
but
all
if
that
you
matters.
weren't here, me and Kari would be. I probably wouldn't. I'd still be in Detroit.
Okay, so what? The love is still there. Home is where the heart is, not where we are.
Well, I love you.
Okay, but I'm just saying I appreciate that, and I love you too, and it's very sweet. But you don't have to.
This girl.
Listen, you don't have to throw me in the mix all the time. It's okay.
But see, I don't want you to feel like we have to throw you in the mix. It's not a matter of throwing you in the mix.
But you do.
The mix don't mix without you.
Okay, but if that's the case and you truly feel that way, then there was no need to even say, "Hey, I love you, honey, I do." But it was nice just be with Kari. Just talk about how you enjoy it. Because you don't. Have you ever in a video said, "Oh, I had so much fun with my wife today. We went out, we did this, or we spent a lot of time together. It's been a cool day. I love my son, but it was nice just being with my wife." Yes or no? Do you do that? Okay, so there's no reason to do that with me.
Different.
It's not different at all.
As much as I think it's different. Like, as much as I enjoyed spending time with him today, it was just me and him. Today was the first time in a long time we all just sat around in the living room and watched a movie together. Which I thought, we watched Infinity War. Completely legal copy, by the way. Fantastic time. But yeah, it was just fun just talking to him. You know, we had a good time. What'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? She always does that. I'm sure it's probably something. She probably said something that I didn't acknowledge right away. In my mind, I totally acknowledged it, I'm sure. But I probably didn't verbally say it to her, which is a thing. That's a thing that I do. I'm working on it, okay? I'm all over the place. Sorry. So I sent that message to her real early in the morning. And it got seen right away. She didn't say anything. So much later in the afternoon, I sent her another message well, I see that you saw it. I'm going to take your silence as a confirmation. You're not interested. That's cool. No ill will. Just know that I'll think of you fondly. Be well. I love you. I won't bother you again. So she ended up writing me back fairly quickly, within 10 minutes or so. And then we just sat and we talked for 2 hours. And it was just very rarely that there are very few people in your life that when you don't talk to them for X amount of time, just some years have gone by, but then you start talking and shit just get to clicking. Or I'm Thanos destroying fucking universes. It was just it just clicked. Everything suddenly, it didn't matter how much time had gone by. We were just cool. And we were just hanging out. And I got the feels, man. It's very rare to have a friend that you have so much history with. And it's a shame because real friends don't come around all that often. So when they do, you kind of want to hold on to them. And me, I'm very clingy. I get attached to people. But I'm very selective on who I attach myself to. So when I attach myself to somebody, it's important for me to hold on to them. That's important. So I'm very glad that we got to reconnect today. It was one of those things in my life that, because I have very little regrets. Everything I do in my own way, on my own terms, in my own time. I don't sit back and go, "Oh, this should have been different." I don't know. Fuck that. I like who I am as a person. But this was one of those things. It felt like something unfinished in my life. She's good people, and she's just the kind of person. It's nice to have her on your friends list. It's nice to, shoot her a text once in a while or drop her a message on Facebook. She was one of the real ones. She was a good friend. And I can admit my part in wrongdoing. I was kind of a jerk about trying to get her this money back. I was just, for what it's worth, for all the respect that it's due, I was not a good person. Like, how I had a friend that I was like, oh, we're such good friends. I was not a good person. I was terrible, people. And I can accept my part in the fact that we didn't talk anymore. But we're past that now. And tonight my heart is warm. And my heart is warm for another very important reason. Because this girl here is off for the weekend. And we are going to hang. Is that your Ethiopian Wakanda Forever shirt? We're going to hang out all weekend. It's just going to be me and her. I love her. I've upset you, haven't I? Yeah, I can tell. I've upset you. I'm sorry. So that's where I am right now. My heart's warm. I feel good. And I'm happy to be with this one. And looking forward to the weekend. Like, just a whole bunch of laying up under you for no reason whatsoever. So, I'm done. Wow, this video went way longer than I wanted it to. But this was important. I needed to get this out. So I'm going to put my selfie stick down and I'm going to be with my wife.